Hello, my friends. Hello, everyone. It is Veronica Burnett again, and I am here with day 4 of 5 Days of Faith. How about that? I cannot believe we are on day number 4. I am super excited. Yeah, I'm just excited that I get to do this with you all. If you are catching me live, put something in the chat so I know the comments so I'll know that you're here. And if you catch the replay, by all means, put something in the comments so I know that you came back and you saw it. Let me know what your takeaways are from day 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, I just want to know exactly what you've gotten from it. This helps me. And I don't know, it'll make me really happy just to know that you all were here and that something I said helped change the trajectory of your life. So let us get started. Day 5 of 5 Days of Faith. Why did I forget that? Welcome in. I'll give you the real quick announcements. So, yeah, 5 Days of Faith. We're almost done. Tomorrow night is our last night. We're going to wrap this thing up with a bow. I will not keep you long tonight. Tomorrow is going to be amazing. I'm going to let you know about some new things that are coming up and what's next after the 5 Days of Faith. And then I also want you to know that next Wednesday is the premiere of Faith to Flourish, season 3 premiere of Faith to Flourish, my YouTube show. And you can find that at Veronica A. Burnett on YouTube. You can go back and check out all of my past episodes, my past guests. The very first one for season 3 is my good friend, Crystal Green of CAG Consulting and Coaching. You can find her on Instagram at I'm Coach Crystal. And you can find her on her website at coachcrystal.co. All right, so that's next Wednesday, and we're going to be talking about the power of now faith. Oh my goodness, it's going to be amazing. So I want you to catch it, okay? YouTube next Wednesday at 8 p.m. We are going to be in the comment section. So we want to make sure that we engage with you. Tell your friends, tell your neighbor, tell everybody. Join us, okay? And then on September 13th, which is a Saturday from 2 to 5 p.m., I will be having my second book event and signing at the John 316 Bookstore in Largo, Maryland. I want to meet you there. You'll get a signed copy of my book, Faith to Flourish, and we'll be able to chat it up. I'll be able to ask questions, answer questions. And yeah, I'm just excited. This is the second event. I'm looking forward to the next ones after that, ready to take it back on the road so that we can do more events and we can talk more and more about growing in faith. All right, so who am I? I'm Veronica, life coach, speaker, author, advocate. I'm a mom of a 12-year-old, and I'm a domestic violence survivor. Yes, I am a domestic abuse survivor. And the best thing about this life that I have, I am a child of God. I'm a God girl. Yes, I am. All right, so that's all about me. We have been doing the 5 Days of Faith, and it is based on a chapter in my book called Faith to Endure, Trust the Process. Day 1, we talked about the D in D.A.R.E. In that chapter, I talk about a D.A.R.E. challenge. Day 1, we talked about the D in D.A.R.E., which is decide. Make a decision that you are going to trust God, have faith in God, and how it's crucial to make the decision and allow Him to you have faith in Him for every area of your life, right? Day 2, we talked about the A, which is acknowledging that God is always with us. He is always present in our lives. We just have to acknowledge His presence, right? And I want you to remember that He will never leave you nor forsake you. That's in His word. So we can hang our hat on that. We can put a pin in it, and we don't have to ever doubt that He is always there with us. Yesterday, we talked about the R, which is 3 words: redirect, remain, and rely. Redirect your thoughts, remain firm in your faith in God, and always rely on Him. Always rely on Christ. When you get distracted, when the gremlins come in and start getting you distracted and making you have negative thoughts, redirect your thoughts to the scripture where it talks about thinking about the things that are good and pure and of good rapport. Think on those things. Remember the promises of God when you start getting distracted in life and when you start getting doubtful. Remember the receipts and remember how He's always come through for you. That's what I want you to remember. Redirect your thoughts. Remain firm in Him. So no matter what your faith level is, stay rooted in your faith in Him. Stay rooted in your trust, your assurance that He's going to come through, your confidence in Him, and the hope that He will come through again. And then rely on Him for everything in your life. Rely on His provisions for you, His protection of you. Remember and rely on Christ. He will never let you down. Oh, He will never disappoint you. He might tell you no, but I promise He will never let you down. He's always there for you. And then tonight, oh my goodness, the last letter in D.A.R.E is the E. I hope you're ready. I promise I'm not going to keep you long. E. Execute before you change your mind and before fear slides in. Oh my goodness. So let me just read you a little excerpt from the book, and you'll see that in there too. Execute knowing that God is establishing your steps, your thoughts, and your plans. Don't delay. Psalm 37:23 in the New King James Version. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and He delights in His way. That means God delights in your way. God delights in the fact that you are allowing Him to order your steps. Because we do have a choice. I want you to know we have a choice. Thank God for choice. But when we choose to trust Him, when we choose to follow the plans that God has for us, when we choose to establish our plans in God and allow His desires to be our desires, God delights in that. It's just like when you delight in your children being obedient, when you delight in your children when they have great accomplishments. I believe that's the way God feels about us. He delights in us. So listen, some people get an idea and they dive right in. Like they do not delay. They dive right in. And it seems like success is their best friend. Really? It seems like these people just have the it factor. I can name a few people, but I won't name drop today. They have this big faith. So let me tell you this story. I know this pastor who has the biggest faith I've ever heard of or seen in my life. And so I met him through a family member of his. And this family member will always talk about him and how much faith he has. And she would tell me the different things that he believed God for, the things that he asked God for. And let me tell you, when he would ask for these ginormous things, I was just like, what? He actually had the nerve to ask something that big. He actually trusted God for something like that. And you know what? God came through and supersized his blessings. It's like He answered him and said, because you trusted me, because you believed in me, because you knew that I would come through, I'm going to take this to the next level for you. And I can remember saying, I want that kind of faith. I wanted the big faith that he had because for years it seemed like success and blessings had skipped me. And at least that's what I thought. But the difference is when this young man or this pastor was given an assignment from God, majority of the time, he acted on it right away because he knew it was from God. Like he has that kind of faith and that kind of relationship with God, that he knew it was from God. And he just, I'm not going to delay because God's got me. And when he asked for something big, he started walking and living like he already had it. Like he had eager anticipation of when God was going to come through, looking around every door, every window, just waiting, every corner, waiting for God to answer him. Like, how are you going to do it this time, God? But for me, I was timid. I was too timid to ask for the big things. I thought too much about the outcome and all of the steps in between. I thought about how hard it might be and how much work would be involved and how much I would have to sacrifice. What kind of sacrifice would I have to make? And honestly, sometimes the assignment that God gave me was so big that I was afraid I wasn't good enough or qualified enough to carry out the job. I had this false humility, right? Like I wasn't supposed to be used by God. He can use anybody and anything, right? So what did I do? I procrastinated. I did. I put it off for a time when I thought I was more prepared. I tried to get more prepared. I studied more. I studied more people. I read more books. I enrolled in more courses, classes, workshops, webinars. I kept looking for confirmations. And then I looked for confirmations to the confirmations. And I let fear get in the way. I allowed my false reality in my mind to scare me out of what could have been a setup for the next blessing or an answer to someone else's prayers. You know, when you procrastinate on doing the things that God has given you to do because you are afraid and you don't have enough faith, what you are doing and that assignment that you have, we all know is tied to something else. It's not always about us. But what if the very thing that you need to do today will impact someone else's life tomorrow or next year or 5 years from now? But because you and I were afraid to take the first step, they missed out, or their blessing or their answer is delayed. So here's some simple ways to know if you are allowing fear to keep you from taking actions. And so I have my little notes right here. I don't want to miss any of them. Number one, you procrastinate. Ask me how I know. I am a recovering procrastinator. Number two, you need to keep consulting God on what he already told you. You know, you go back and pray. Lord, did you really mean this? Maybe God, you meant that. God, did I hear you right? Did I misunderstand? Well, maybe it's this. You go back and you keep consulting him. Then you go back and try to bargain with him. What if I just do a little bit? What if I just do this part? Will you do this? What if I just do that? Mm-mm. Number three, you keep looking for confirmations. You wait for 5 and 6 people to come and tell you when he's already told you in the dream, he told you in the vision, he told you from the random person. How many more confirmations do we really need? Listen, I don't want any more confirmations. I need to know. Like, I want my relationship with God to be so strong that when he tells me the first time, I know it's him and I do it. I don't have to keep looking for confirmations. Number 4, you come up with reasons why you can't. I need to go back to school. And maybe you might have to for whatever it is that he's telling you. Maybe you need an advanced degree. I don't know. But if you're going to use that as an excuse, that's procrastination. That's allowing fear in some way to keep you from moving forward, to keep you from taking action. You come up with reasons why you can't. Well, here's another one. I have to pick up my daughter from school. Who's going to be at home with the children? I'm a single mom. I'm a single dad. I can't do it today. Maybe next year. It's too busy right now. We come up with reasons why. Work is too much. And then what happens is God clears all those things. I think when we decide to trust God and have faith in him and say, you know what, I'm going to act on what you've told me, all the provisions that we need in order to carry out the assignment, they come. I mean, he makes provisions for us. All we have to do is say yes, right? Just say yes. Number 5, you talk yourself out of taking action. That's the same as coming up with reasons. You talk yourself out of taking action. I can't do it right now. Number 6, you make excuses and say you'll wait until you feel more prepared. I already know because I've done it so many times, taken too many classes, all of the classes that I don't even need because I want to boost up my resume and seem like I know more than I don't need all the extras. When God gives you something, he prepares you. When God gives you something, he qualifies you. When you're asking God for something big, he's going to provide for you. He's going to give you everything you need and put you in a position where you can receive it. We just have to be willing to move forward. Okay? So let me tell you this. You may not ever feel prepared enough. So just start. I found that when I just acted on what God told me to do, he reveals the steps as I go. Honestly, if he told me all of it, I would skip all the way to the end or the last couple of steps, take some shortcuts, and I would miss all the lessons and growth along the way. So here's some steps that you can take now that will help you to take action sooner rather than later, especially while you're in this process. Number 1, take a deep breath and pick up that phone. If you know you have to make that phone call, don't delay. Ask God to give you the words. Ask God to be there on the other end for that other person to remain calm while you may have to have a tough conversation, or remain open when you have to have a conversation to introduce yourself. But take a deep breath, count to 3, pick up that phone, make the call. Take a deep breath and compose that email, then press send. That's the next part. Press send on the resume, the contract, or the proposal. You already have it together. I know we already have several programs, several contracts, a list of people that we want to call, to connect with, to collaborate with. But the fear keeps us from doing it. Compose the email, pick up the phone, make the call. The next one, let go of what you think could happen and remember the promise at the end, the goal line. Don't think about what could happen because that is a false reality. Don't think about what could happen. Think about in a negative way, but think about what could happen in a positive way. What if the outcome that you're looking for really does come through? What if that person on the other end of that email or that telephone call, they may not be the person, but they know the person. They may not be the company, but they can connect you to the right company. Think of it that way. And then remember your goal line. The goal is to connect. The goal is to meet the deadline. The goal is to increase in faith. The goal, whatever your goal is. And then the next one, don't keep moving the goal line. That's procrastination again. Don't keep moving it. If God has already told you what the promise is, don't go back and try to reshape it. Don't go back and try to say, oh God, you didn't mean it in 3 months, so I'm going to move it to 6. No. Say yes today. Yes, right now, in faith. The next thing, press record and start talking. You know you're supposed to record that class. that webinar. You're supposed to do whatever it is. You're supposed to start that show. Press record. Start talking. Practice if you must, but don't keep delaying it. Introduce yourself to the person who needs to know you. Ask them, who do you know that I might know? Who do you know that I need to know? That's it. Who do you know that I need to know? Or who needs to know me? Next, don't be afraid to ask the question. Ask the question. You know, when my daughter started school, she was quite timid about asking questions because, you know, in school, we think, oh, it's a dumb question. It's a dumb question. No, because your question might be the question that your neighbor has and they're afraid to ask. But you ask the question. Your question might lead you to your desired end. Your question might lead you to being introduced to who you need to know. You just never know, but don't be afraid to ask the question. The last one. Say yes when you need to say yes, and say no when you need to say no. You cannot be afraid. Yes when you need to say yes, no when you need to say no. I think saying no is harder than saying yes because we don't want to disappoint people. But say no when he's told you no and you need to say no to, say no. It doesn't mean that you're closing the door on opportunity. That may not have been the right opportunity for you. But you have to go in faith knowing that God is leading you. That's the thing, making sure that you hear correctly from him. If you can relate to anything that I'm saying, just let me know. Here's the last of this. Don't allow fear to set in and make you miss what God has for you. That next opportunity is waiting for you. You just need to take the first step. That's it. Faith is not always easy, and the path may not always seem to make sense. I know. But if you go with God, he'll direct your path. He'll give you the steps to take and the right people to call at the right time. So while you're going through this process, I pray that you endure with grace, not kicking and screaming, but with a strong desire to grow, learn, and increase in faith. So I'll leave you with this question. What is one action of faith that you can take this week? One action of faith. Think about the things that I suggested and add to it. What can you do? Is it just saying yes to God? Is it surrendering? Is it sitting still and listening? But what is one action you can take today? All right, so I'm going to leave you with that tonight. I hope something I said has helped you. I hope that something I said will not transform, but help you change the trajectory of your life. If you know someone who needs this, share it with them. I would love to hear your feedback, okay? All right, so meet me here tomorrow night for the last night of 5 Days of Faith. And yeah, I'm just excited that we're almost here. I'm a little, melancholy about it because I'm not ready to let this go, but I have to be obedient. 5 Days of Faith, all right? If you miss any days, I will be taking some of the videos off next week. And so if you don't get a chance to watch all of them by then, join my email list and you'll be able to watch them in a private setting so that you can catch up and we can still talk. I would love to have you on my email list so that I can share more about my faith journey, other events that are coming up, and other people that I'm bringing in to interview on the Faith to Flourish YouTube show. All right. So you have a wonderful night. I hope, I'm just going to leave it there. Goodbye.